Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Here we are. 101.
On the other side of 100.
On the other side. 2-digit numbers are so yesterday. Or the day before that. So, here we are. 101 videos.
Yeah.
By now, you would have seen both our 100 videos. Hope you enjoyed it. What's new?
I'm tired.
Why are you tired?
So we're doing this audiobook. But it's not the audiobook. Although, like, doing an audiobook is a little bit, like, brain frying. Because you're just sat, like, reading. It's, like, a lot of concentration for, like, 7 hours, 8 hours.
Yeah.
But it's the way that I'm doing this recordio book. Here we are. Welcome to Thursday. It's because I'm sat under a desk with a blanket over my head. I get so ridiculously hot in there. Like, I'm sweating by the end. And, of course, I can't have the windows open because that's, like, extra noise.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And, of course, I'm sat on the floor as well with nowhere to put my legs. So there was a point yesterday where I was essentially, like, in the splits. I was like that. Like, with my legs like that, leaning in to record with a blanket over my head.
Wow.
So I'm just sort of a bit achy and a bit tired.
Not long left though. I know you've got quite a lot, but in terms of you're definitely over halfway, aren't you?
Yeah, I've done 200 pages and I've got 130 pages left. I am also allowed to tell you now what it is. Oh. Because I did like a...
Exclusive, guys. Exclusive on the channel.
Well, I did a Instagram story yesterday showing like my little thing. And luckily the iPad screen was like... Because it was like a bright light, it didn't show what was on the screen. But then I got a text from Rebecca, the woman that I'm working with, saying, you are allowed to tell people that it's The Love Square by Laura Jane Williams, who I also did the audiobook for her last novel, Our Stop.
This is going to be really interesting when it comes out.
Yeah.
Because you've done this remotely, under your desk. Like, people will be listening to this audiobook, and if they don't watch these videos, they'll have no idea.
I was talking to Rebecca the other day and she was on Zoom with me for like the first half of the first session, like the morning session. And then she was like, I can either stay or, you could just carry on doing it yourself. Because I'm quite good at knowing when I've screwed up and when I've said something that's definitely not written on the page. Yeah. And I was catching all of my own mistakes, so she didn't really have to intervene unless it was for me to ask. Because there's like bits of Italian in the book, so I had to be like, how do I pronounce that? Because I don't know. And I said, I feel like I've got the most unprofessional home studio setup. And she was like, no, I was with, and like name dropped like a very big actor. And he was like, he did it in a cupboard. I literally had to talk to him whilst he was in a cupboard.
Ridiculous.
So I was like, okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah. Well, you're nearly there, so keep plowing through.
130 pages, so close.
Keep plowing through. So, any announcements from me? Not really. Nothing to report. So let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Again, thanks for the emails, guys.
Thank you very much.
Very good emails. Lovely emails. I always remind myself when I say it like that, like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Great emails. Lovely emails.
The best emails.
The best emails. Terrible impression. I can't believe we've done 200 videos.
I know.
And we've not talked about this.
Oh God.
And I think we brought it up. And you've definitely spoke about it before.
Okay.
I've not on this channel.
Okay.
And I'm talking about the controversial topic of stage door.
I've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
I'll sit out on this one.
Well, you can like join in, obviously. We never talked about it, really.
No, I don't think we have.
Ever. In the 200 videos, which is very rare.
We've talked about it in passing, like, oh, and this happened at stage door, and that happened at stage door. We've not talked about
We've not specifically done a Good Morning World or Good Evening World title, stage door. So here we are. It's taken us 200 videos. Maybe we've like been avoiding talking about it.
It's probably because I've talked about it too much.
And that as well.
Yeah.
You've definitely addressed this.
Yeah.
But I still want your opinion because this is fresh for the Oliver Ormston channel. Can
I say why I think I've talked about it a lot?
Yeah, go on. Why have you talked about it a lot?
Because in London, I think I was the first YouTuber to cross over into theatre. Like now it's happened quite a lot with like Joe Sugg, Tanya Burr, even on like Broadway with Colleen Ballinger. I feel like it's slightly different with certain YouTubers because when those YouTubers' thing is musical theatre.
Yeah.
Like me, for instance, and Colleen Ballinger, like our thing was like the reason we built up an audience on YouTube in the first place was because we were singing. So our crossover into musical theatre wasn't like jarring or wasn't like a bit of a shock. But I think I was the first person with like an online profile to cross over into musical theatre. Because when I first started in Les Mis and I first came out of Stage Door, there would be like your usual between 5 and 15 at most people at Stage Door. And then as my audience grew during the, because I think when I got into Les Mis, I only had maybe like 100,000 subscribers. I say only, it's still a lot, but in terms of people showing up where you work, it wasn't likely. And then by the time I got to the end of Les Mis, I had like 3 times as many as that. I think I had like a good 300, 400,000 subscribers by the time I left Les Mis.
Yeah.
So as the years went on, those crowds like grew and grew and grew at Stage Door, and also it coincided with the movie coming out. Like the movie came out a year before I joined, so even then there was already a much younger because usually the people who went to see Les Mis were not 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
The demographic for Les Mis was much, much older. So all of a sudden the movie came out and everyone's like, oh my god, Eddie Redmayne, Samantha Barks, Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe to a lesser extent.
Sorry, Russell.
Sorry, Russell. So a whole younger generation had been introduced to Les Mis already, and then I went in and I had a like young, growing demographic, and also YouTube conventions were at their height as well, around 2012, 2013, and that's when YouTube conventions started getting really, really big, and that was before they were even at the Excel Centre. That was back when they were at like the Brewery in London and Alexandra Palace. And then they got so big that they had to move it to the Excel, and now they have like 30,000 people going over the 3 days, which is crazy. So Stage Door suddenly became like a YouTube meet and greet.
Yeah.
Lots of issues arose that no one in the theatre world had ever really encountered before, because this weird crossover had never really happened before. Sorry. Because even when you had like TV stars go into shows, the chances of their demographics being young as well. Like if you had like Les Dennis in a show, there'd be lots of people at Stage Door, but they'd all be of an older generation who probably wouldn't scream so loud that Westminster Council is called and there's a noise complaint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it was the first time that the theatre had this weird crossover.
Yeah.
And we ran into issues that we'd never really had to deal with before. So that's why I feel like I've talked about it a lot, because lots of things have arisen over my time in theatre that I felt like needed addressing, but also I had like company managers and producers coming to me being like, can you please tweet something about this, because we can't have this happening again, and like you tweeting about it is the best way to spread that kind of information. So then I'd have to like do a little tweet and whatnot. So that's why I feel like I've talked about it so much.
Yeah. There's been loads of emails about Stage Door, and the one I sort of stumbled across was from someone called Emily Smith, and they've put some more questions about Stage Door. So I feel like if we just throw them out as well. So they've said Carrie has previously discussed her thoughts in vlogs a while back about Stage Door, but have her feelings changed? So have your feelings changed about Stage Door at all?
I don't think so.
No.
I think a lot of people think that I hate Stage Door, but because I've talked about it so much, and sometimes in like a negative sense because people have been pissing me off, but I love Stage Door. I think Stage Door's amazing if everyone's nice about it.
Yeah.
As soon as you get people being assholes, then they're like, of course it's going to be a crap experience for all involved.
Yeah. Is there anything you would want to change or wish people did? Is a added question from Emily. What I would change is not the fans being out there and how they organise themselves, is how the producers and the theatres organise Stage Door. Yeah. I feel like in the UK, we're miles behind Broadway
100%.
In terms of how they organise it. Like, you have to have a ticket, right? You know, you have to have a ticket to sort of get close enough to like get a picture or whatever. Yeah. And they have the barriers, and it's not, the barriers might sound like separate us from the art, you know, us from the audience, or the artist from the you know, the talent from the crowd or whatever. It's not that.
It's got a much bigger purpose.
Yeah, it's one, it just forms like an orderly queue, and it's just safer for everyone as well. And also in the West End, anyone can come to Stage Door. Anyone. Like, I'm talking like a guy who's like lost his marbles and just stumbles past Stage Door and might do something horrible to anyone. Like,
I told a story recently where there was a drunk guy stood at the pub opposite Stage Door, because it's literally just in a street.
Yeah, it's just a crowd.
It's just outside in a street in the public where people are just walking past.
In Soho, if you're on Shaftesbury Avenue. Yeah.
And so there was a guy who was getting drunk at the pub opposite and like stumbled over and saw people like in a little crowd near me and like reached across the barrier and grabbed my arm. If that barrier hadn't have been there, he would have been able just to get to me.
Yeah. I think that's the main sort of thing I would change about it.
But also, I just want to say about the barriers. The reason that the barriers are there, primarily, is so that if you've got like Stage Door, say this is Stage Door, my mug is Stage Door, if you've got a crowd of people who are all crammed up against Stage Door and someone comes out, there's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah.
And so they end up like pushed against Stage Door with everyone around them, which then means no one else can get out of the building. So if you put a barrier this far away, it means the person that you want to see or all the actors can come out and move along the barrier at the barrier, but then there's room behind them for all the orchestra to come out and all of the people working front of house to come out and go on their business.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, I've been in that position when I've come out of Stage Door and been stopped, which is really nice and lovely, and I've made time to say hello and take pictures and sign things. But you do have a backup of people trying to just get home.
And half of them have got double basses on.
Yeah, like you've got like these musicians coming out and they're like, and that's one big thing I'd say I'd change in the UK. That is, I've got barriers, just so there's space for everyone, really.
And I also think the ticket thing is a really good idea, because whilst a ticket doesn't guarantee you a meet and greet, like Stage Door is not a meet and greet area, but then if you have got someone like uber famous in the show, and then you end up with like, say 100 people who came to watch the show, but then 100 people who didn't, it's like demanding an actor's time when you've not given them any of yours. You know what I mean? And because it's not a meet and greet, if it was a meet and greet, then sure, free for all, anyone can come.
Yeah.
But it's not. This person, I'm just imagining Alfie Bow. Alfie Bow just needs to get home after a show.
Yeah. What is the best part about Stage Door?
I mean, it's what you imagine it would be. It's like meeting people who have literally just seen the show and it's like fresh in their brains. Sometimes you get, if you've like, especially Les Mis, sometimes you get people still like in tears at Stage Door because they've been like so like overwhelmed by the show.
Yeah.
It's really sweet.
I always like to come out of Stage Door and come out and there's like friends or family that I didn't know were in.
Yeah.
That's always a good feeling. Because you come out of Stage Door, if it's like a 2-show day, you're going out to get some food or whatever, and you come out and they're there at the back like waving at you and you're like, oh my god, no way. That's always a nice sort of surprise at Stage Door.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the best things about Stage Door are what you imagine the best things about Stage Door would be, like meeting people who have just seen the show and they're still like buzzing about the show. And
yeah, it's nice to know that what you're doing on stage is affecting and sort of making people happy, or you know, people are enjoying your work.
It's people who are like at the height of their enthusiasm for the show because they've just seen it.
Yeah. Is there any funny or embarrassing moments you've been involved in or witnessed at Stage Door?
I got crowned at Stage Door. I'll always remember this. There was a group of girls who were just so sweet and they still like come to stuff. They're so nice. And I can't remember why, I can't remember what the reason was, but I don't think it was my last? It was definitely a cast change, but I don't think I was leaving. I don't think, anyway, maybe I'm wrong. But on the day of cast change, so on like our final shows with that last cast, they brought me like a tiara, and I think they just brought it to me as like a present, because I can't remember what the reason was. I'm so sorry, guys, I can't remember. But I think they were just giving it to me as a present. But I think then one of them was like, oh, we should like crown her, and so they made me like get down on like one knee and put like the tiara. It was like really sweet, and it was just one of those like really nice organic moments. Yeah, it was just like really lovely.
I actually stumbled across a video the other day that I got tagged in, and it was from Canterbury on the Addams Family tour. And I had a group of people outside Stage Door. I don't know if they're watching this, but they're like, do the dance, do the dance. So in Adam's family, I used to do this little dance thing when I go, hey, it's a pugster, what up, little man? I used to do like a dab. Like, it was ready. It was 2017. Dabbing was still.
Dabbing was, well,
it wasn't prevalent, but it was still like.
I think dabbing was on its way out, and you were trying to bring it back.
No, it was a choice, because Lucas is not that cool, so he would dab when no one dabs anymore.
That's true.
Lucas would be like still flossing. If Adam's Family Tour was out now, I would be doing the floss.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I did the dance for them, and they filmed it. Looking back now, if I was on tour again, and they're like, do the dance, I'd be like, no. You got me at a good time. 3 years ago, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, this is fun. But I saw the video the other day, I was like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that dance. But everyone loved it though, so.
It was funny.
That's the main thing. They got a nice video out of it.
Someone once made me sing at stage door, and I felt too embarrassed and like too awkward to say no. But that's my worst nightmare. Someone asked me to sing at a signing once as well. It's, oh god. It's my worst nightmare. It's my worst nightmare.
I always find at stage door when people say to me, oh, my friend could make it, can you do a video for her? And you like, they film you, and you're like, hey, Sebastian, like. I
don't mind that so much.
Really?
The one that
for me, I find it really egg, because I'm like, hey, Rebecca, why, it's a shame you're not here. Like, I just like start stumbling over my words, and I look at the people like, is this good? I don't know if I'm doing it right.
I don't mind that so bad, but the one that always gives me the sweats is, my friend Sarah couldn't make it, and I've got her on the phone.
Oh.
And I'm like, hi. I hate talking on the phone. Like, if I can avoid talking on the phone, at any cost, I will. So when someone at stage door's like, my friend Sarah couldn't make it because she broke her leg or whatever, she's ill, I can't say no, because I just feel too like awkward and embarrassed and bad, and so I end up on the phone. But then I'm just on the phone at stage door, and I'm like, I don't know how to deal with this situation, because I've got people like waiting, and I don't know how long is appropriate to talk to this person on the phone for before I hang up. Because usually if we're at stage door, you're aware that there's other people waiting, but if you're on the phone, this person on the phone doesn't know that there's a queue of like 50 other people going around the corner of the theatre who would, might like to say hello, not just to me, but the rest of the cast who I'm now holding up because I'm stood at stage door on the phone, like. Yeah.
Have you ever had someone take a picture of you and go, can I have a picture? Because this happened to me once. They was like, can I have a picture? I was like, yeah. So I sort of went to do the old like round the arm, the shoulder, and they're like, no, just stand there.
Just you.
And it's the most awkward, because you're like, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because like, obviously like 99 times out of 100, they want a picture.
They want to be in the
photo.
photo.
They want a selfie. Not just a random picture of you just stood there like, it's so weird.
I always find that it's an older generation that do that.
Yeah,
because they don't want to be in the photo.
Yeah.
That's just not their thing, being in photos. They're like, oh, can I get a picture? And then they're like, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you just stood there like when you're shopping or whatever, you're like, hey.
I'm always like that.
Are you?
Yeah. I always do something really awkward because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
The thing that's always like made me feel slightly uncomfortable, and I don't know why. I don't know why this makes me feel uncomfortable, but it does. And I'm gonna say it. When sometimes people bring their own photos to stage door to sign.
Oh yeah.
And it always makes me feel a little bit weird when someone brings one of my like bikini shots for me to sign.
That is weird. That happened on Adam's Family, right? And it happened with Samantha, Sam.
Oh.
Wilma.
Oh yeah. Oh, and it was one person who had photos of the both of us.
Yeah.
And I think we were all coming out at the same time, and they stopped us, and it was like a picture of Sam, like, I can't remember what the picture of Sam was, but it definitely wasn't like fully clothed.
Yeah.
And then the next picture was like a bikini shot, and you kind of go, well, yeah, these are photos that have been released or photos that we've like posted ourselves. But to then go to the effort to have them like professionally printed on glossy paper and then bring them to stage door for us to sign.
Yeah, a bit weird. But the thing
is, I can't figure out why it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Maybe it's this, I don't know why. But when I was at this pub outside of the Wyndhams, Ian McKellen was doing a play, and I saw him come out. And I was like watching him, I was like outside, probably a bit drunk, but like, oh, what's he doing to Ian McKellen? That's cool. He came out, and loads of people had loads of merch Lord of the Rings, whatever, X-Men. And he was like, I'm not signing it. He said, I'm not going to, but he's really nice. That sounded like he was not. But he's like, I'm not going to sign that. You know, wizard. But he's like, I'll sign your program.
Yeah.
And I don't have merch. I don't have things that like pre-exist or, you know, the only thing that I have with my name on it might be an old program.
Yeah, like a Book of Mormon program or an Adam Sandler program. Yeah.
All the programs I've done, whatever. But so I don't know. However, I don't know how I feel about that. If I'm in a show and say I did In-Betweeners, I'm trying to do like other things, like do a play or do a musical, and someone's like, can you sign your In-Betweeners poster? Because then it also, for me, it rings alarm bells like, did you even see the show? Did you come and see the show? And maybe it's that, I don't know, maybe it's just, it's like this guy coming with semi-naked pictures of you and going, can you sign this? It's like, I don't know, that's maybe that's why it makes me feel weird. Because I'm thinking, I don't know if you've actually spent money to see the show and you've just, all you've actually done is printed out pictures for your own sort of whatever they're for and come to stage door because you know I'll be here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is. But on that note, whenever I'm at stage door or like book signings, for instance, because it happens a lot of book signings as well, where people bring stuff from other things that I've been in, I love it.
What, signing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not. Is that stage door or meet and greet?
Stage door.
Oh, stage door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stage door and book signings, when like, because people bring like programs a lot as well at like book signings. So they'll bring. So if they didn't get to see me at stage door at like Heather's, they'll bring their Heather's thing. But I guess at book signings, they can't get into the book signing if they haven't booked it, like bought a ticket or bought a copy of the book. So then I'm kind of like, well, you're here because you're supporting me with your book. So yeah, of course I'll sign anything you want.
Yeah. And also,
but at stage door, I'm kind of the same. Like, yeah, because I think I just get overly excited. If someone hands me one of my books at stage door, I'm like, oh my god, you bought my book. That's like really exciting. Thank you so much. Like, I get overly excited. And I think if someone gives me a program to another show that I've been in, I get excited that they got to see that show.
Yeah.
I know what I'm like, and I get excited whether it's stage door or a book signing, and I am pretty much, I will sign whatever you put under my nose when it comes to like either stage door or book signings. But I think it's like more acceptable to do it at a book signing.
Yeah.
Because at stage door, it's not like a proper meet and greet, and coming, like, I feel like if someone came with like all of my books and at stage door and was like, can you sign all of these, I'd be a little bit like, I don't think I've got time because I've got to catch my train.
Yeah, and it's a show, and it's not about just you. There's 20 other people behind you probably trying to get out a door. And
also, loads of other people around you who have now got to wait, who have just got a programme.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at like a book signing, that's what I like. It is a meet and greet. Yeah. That is what I'm there for. But I think that's what annoys me about book signings is that the place always says you can only sign books. So when people like sneak in programs in the back of their books and like, just don't tell me what to do. I'm joking anyway. But then I get told off. Yeah.
I guess the thing with books though, if we're talking about like signing books, like that's something that's like you, isn't it? That's something personal to you. When I was using like the Ian McKellen example, I think people would just come in with like merch. Yeah. Like random X-Men posters or like a Lord of the Rings like staff that they made. Yeah. And he's just done I don't know, Macbeth at the Wyndhams. He's probably like, I don't want to sign
anything other than Macbeth.
Yeah. Whatever. I don't know. But it's an interesting topic though.
Yeah.
I think it's all down to the situation as well. Like in terms of if I come out of stage door, for example, and there's not many people there, and someone's like, can you sign these books that I have now magically written, by the way, but say they were like, Oliver, you're the best author in the world, you're amazing. Your books are like #1 selling all around the world because they're so funny. Sure. Yeah. Can you sign them before the street gets really busy because you're a massive superstar? I'd be like, yeah, because there's not many people. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to hold up many people. Yeah. I guess it's like, but if it's like huge and it's opening night of a big West End musical and I come out of stage door and there's loads of people there, probably not for me, for someone else, but it's still a lot of people there. Yeah. I won't have time. Yeah. I guess you guys would know. You can sort of gauge it, can't you? Yeah. Go, will he have time to sign this extra thing?
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to read the room.
Yeah. Interesting though. Well, that's a bit of stage door.
Yeah.
Anything to add?
I could talk about this for 6 videos, so...
So the next 5 videos will be the same. Yeah, we not even spoke about like crazy stories. Or like the old stage door. Is it a meet and greet? Is that what you get with your ticket? Because some people think it is, some people think it isn't. Many grey areas.
Yeah.
Many areas about stage door that we could discuss. Stage door part 2 is coming. Right, everyone. Thanks for popping by. Be safe out there. Don't come to stage door. Does that work? Double negative? Nah. What is it?
Don't come to stage door.
Don't come to stage door. Don't come to stage door and see us. Does that make any sense?
It does, but it's dodgy.
Bye!